It's Monday, August 23. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The four-day vaccination blitz for children 12 to 18 years, which commenced on Saturday, August 21, continues until Tuesday, August 24. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Mrs. Juliet Holness accompanied their sons to JC Auditorium, one of the several blitz sites over the weekend. The youngsters are being inoculated with the Pfizer vaccine that arrived in Jamaica last Thursday. There's more in this report. More than 300 children over 12 years old were immunized against COVID-19 over the weekend. The youngsters, who were accompanied by their parents, guardians, and teachers, are being inoculated with Pfizer vaccines, which were donated by the United States government. Jamaica received 204,260 doses last week as part of a total allocation of over 600,000 doses of that brand. Medical officer for the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Debbie Carrington, says the process is going well.
Well, I think things are going quite well. Everything's been going smoothly. We have the Jamaica Defense Force along with us. We're partnering with them and they've been dealing with the crowd control, so everything's going pretty smoothly. We started off initially intending to vaccinate children only, but now we've opened it up to anyone who's over 12 years old. So anyone over 12 years old who has not been vaccinated as yet is welcome to come to the arena to get the first dose of their Pfizer vaccine.
Dr. Carrington is urging more Jamaicans to get vaccinated against the virus.
We want to get back as much as possible to normalcy. The only way for us to do that is to be vaccinated. The more of us that are vaccinated, the better off we all are. It won't stop us from necessarily from getting COVID, but it should be less severe should we get it. So let's protect each other. Let's go out, come out and get your vaccine.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his wife, Juliet, accompanied their sons, Adam and Matthew, to receive their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Here's what they had to say about the experience.
Painless and hurt at all. Quick.
That was quick. And he's afraid of needles.
Like myself. Good. And why did you take it?
Well, to reduce my risk of being harmed by COVID and to reduce the risk of transmission to that, I encourage everybody to take it if it's free and quick.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has indicated that the Pfizer vaccine will now be used along with the AstraZeneca brand for the general population. 879 COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of overall cases to 62,712 since the start of the pandemic. There are now 13,140 active cases, including 125 moderately ill patients and 60 who are critically ill. Of the 62,712, 47,787 persons have recovered. 1,402 persons have died. A new Jamaican tech startup, Driva Jamaica, an online food delivery service, is Jamaica's answer to Uber Eats. That's the word from Chief Executive Officer of a parent company Courier Driver Limited, Rajiv Maraj. He says the service is being offered in Montego Bay, St. James, with big plans for the future.
Food delivery has become an essential service as people strive to provide and receive goods on demand during the pandemic. Chief Executive Officer of parent company Courier Driver Limited, Rajiv Maraj, notes the rise of similar companies but says Driva JA is different.
Well, there's a lot of people going for the space because they see the demand. It's definitely a necessity, right? So there's people in the business, but we're taking what they currently have and we're expanding on it. We're bringing a complete new, more advanced technology that is going to make the process of ordering food and products very fast and more convenient than it is as it is right now. We have some special tech that we don't really want to elaborate on yet as it's in the works, but we really feel like it's way more advanced than it is right now.
Mr. Mirage, a Jamaican-born international jockey, says that the app will allow consumers to track any food or product that they order in real time anywhere in the country.
We are just facilitating the orders, right? We host on our app all the merchants' products, the food and whatever, right? Now the consumers, they'll log into their account and they'll see everything within their radius, delivery radius, that's available for purchase. At the click of a button, they select what they want and they purchase it instantly. The merchant then receives the order, and then the drivers are dispatched all through the app. No one has to call anything, so there's no manual involved. It's all by the touch of a button through the sophistication of the app.
Mr. Mirage says Driva JA is being launched in Montego Bay, St. James, but plans are in place for expansion.
We feel like the Montego Bay is a great launching space for us, a little more confined, and we just want to get our feet on the ground, and we plan to expand island-wide as soon as possible.
He also explains that deliveries will be subcontracted to bearers who sign up to be workers and earn on a commission basis.
They're going to be able to access whatever they want from the merchants, the restaurants and so forth that's in the area. They're going to be able to get their business going better, be able to send the products, their food directly to the consumer with ease, and provide jobs for lots of people in the area, like the drivers and the workers in the restaurants and so forth. So we're really excited about potentially hiring people of all different magnitudes, from our people that works in our IT department to drivers and people working in restaurants. There's going to be a big job growth due to this company launching here and throughout the island.
Representative for the North Coast restaurant Smokies by the Sea, Roxanne Mirage, says the new app will be good for a business even in the long run.
Driva JA will definitely facilitate increased earnings for Smokies by the Sea, any other eatery, any other merchant. ENDS was created to assist us with food deliveries after curfew hours. However, Driva JA will eliminate and make it easier for companies like me to not have to deal with the logistics of the delivery. I prepare, Driva JA takes it to the customer. So I definitely can see it being fruitful even after COVID or the restrictions are lifted. We can have 24-hour food services for a restaurant that would have been open for a limited number of hours.
Melvin Pennant, PBCJ News.
Even as many Jamaicans stock up on provision to meet no movement days, there are others who are unable to do so. A team of young Jamaicans have taken an innovative approach to reducing food insecurity while building community togetherness. More in this report from our reporter, Carol Francis.
The financial impact of COVID-19 has resulted in some Jamaican families facing food insecurity. They are struggling to meet their daily nutritional and other needs. A food sharing idea is bringing much needed relief. Sidewalk pantries like this one along Lady Musgrave Road in Kingston is helping to bridge the gap between the haves and the haves not.
It's actually a global movement, the free pantry concept. And so I decided that this would be great for Jamaica. And once the pandemic hit, I felt that it was time to try and execute because there are so many people in need, food insecurity increasing. So I contacted Kyle Reynolds who owns Irie Racing, and we decided to place the first box there.
The food boxes or pantries are built on the principle of each one help one. Anyone wanting to help can stock the boxes with non-perishable items. Anyone in need is welcome to freely take from the cupboards anything they want, anytime they want.
So we now have 4 locations, one at Irie Racing on Shortwood Road, one at Ragamuffin Cafe at Lady Musgrave, and one in Portland. So our fourth location is at the UA Health Center. We've partnered with another NGO, What Women Want, and we provide sanitary products for women in need.
It is so nice that somebody could just leave some donation in this COVID time. This is such a good idea to have I call it a donation on the side of the road like that. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
The free little cupboard is a safety net for those who may not be able to easily access resources. It offers a temporary solution to families faced with food insecurity, acquire free of cost supplemental food items and other basic necessities.
One of our challenges is that some people will take everything, and we want people to share, and as our tagline says, don't be greedy, leave some for the needy.
In a bid to help families across the island struggling to make ends meet, the organizers of the free little cupboards are appealing to Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora to help those in need. No donation is too small.
We're hoping to expand our initiative across the island, and we're appealing to NGOs to get on board. You can contact us through the Free Little Cupboard page on Instagram.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Carol Francis.
Several employees suffered from smoke inhalation as a result of a major fire which broke out at Jamalco's powerhouse at its refinery in Hayes, Clarendon on Sunday. The fire, which began at approximately 3 p.m., caused extensive damage to the powerhouse, which could be likened to the brains of the company's operations. The powerhouse produces power, compressed air, and steam for the refining operations. The fire was put out by Jamalco's fire department with assistance from 4 units from the Jamaica Fire Brigade. At least 30 employees from that section of the company's operations will be directly affected. Investigations into the cause of the fire and assessment of the damage are now being done. Jamalco mines bauxite and refines it into alumina, which is exported from its Rocky Point port. The company has an impressive safety record. This is the first major fire they have had in many years. Talks are ongoing to settle a dispute involving the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, and its 400 technical and administrative employees. Reports are that officials of the utility company and the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, UCASE, which represents the workers, met last Tuesday. Talks have been ongoing regarding the non-payment of a performance incentive in 2016 and 2017. However, the utility company says there is no signed agreement for the incentive payment. In light of the recent no-movement days announced by the government, the Bank of Jamaica will not be offering teleservices to the public on the following days: Monday, August 23, 2021, Tuesday, August 24, 2021, Monday, August 30, 2021, and Tuesday, August 31, 2021. The Bank of Jamaica regrets any inconvenience that these temporary changes may cause and encourages all their customers and stakeholders to continue to take the necessary steps to remain safe. We now get the latest market updates from Gabriel Thompson in this business report.
In Friday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 622 points to close at over 416,000 units. Overall, market activity resulted from trading in 93 stocks, of which 28 advanced, 47 declined, and 18 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 12 points to close at over 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Stocks declined for Barita Investments Limited, Burger Paints Jamaica Limited, and Blue Power Group Limited. Trading firm were Cargo Handlers Limited, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited, and Epley Limited 8.75% preference shares. Mayberry Jamaican Equities Limited was the volume leader with over 128.9 million units, followed by Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 6.4 million units, and Future Energy Source Company Limited ordinary shares with over 4.3 million units. In foreign exchange trading for Friday, August 20, the US dollar sold for an average $154.27. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $120.74. The pound sterling traded for $209.61, and the euro sold for an average $182.30. In market data for oil, prices rose on Monday, recovering from a 7-day losing streak as investors hunted for bargains and a softer dollar lent support, though persistent anxiety over surging cases of the Delta coronavirus variant kept sentiment cautious. Brent crude futures climbed $1.16 to $66.34 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose $1.07 to $63.21 a barrel. Both benchmarks marked their biggest week of losses in more than 9 months last week. Brent slipped about 8% and WTI fell about 9% as markets braced for weakened fuel demand worldwide due to the surge in the pandemic. And on that note, we close this Monday edition of the Business Report Inside the News on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson. Pleasant viewing.
In regional news, citizens living in remote areas of Trinidad and Tobago will receive the first tranche of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. At the Ministry of Health's recent virtual media conference, Minister Terence Dialsing said this decision was taken so that people living in those communities would not have to visit a mass vaccination site or health center for a second jab. Mahala Joseph Wharton of TTT News has more.
Minister of Health Terence Dialsing said the Johnson & Johnson vaccine would be more convenient to those living in remote coastal areas.
Johnson & Johnson vaccines, major benefit. One shot and you're done.
He said communities like Las Cuevas, Matlot, Kernahan, Guayagayari, Moruga, Cedros, Losiro, Charlottesville and Speyside will be among those getting priority for the one-dose vaccine.
There are many areas and pockets of communities in the coastal areas and even inland that want to be vaccinated but don't have the wherewithal to be transported twice to a mass vaccination site or even go to a health center.
The minister explained how the information on vaccination dates would be shared with the communities.
The communities will be primed a couple days before via the MPs, their councillors, the RHAs, miking, messaging, so on, giving you the information.
The 108,000 vaccines that arrived in this country on August 20th would go out to these communities via mobile units. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
The St. Lucia Red Cross is doing its part in supporting the relief efforts in Haiti in wake of the recent massive earthquake. The country has been reeling from effects of twin disasters following the assassination of its president and the tremor. More details in this HTS News Force report.
The St. Lucia Red Cross is awaiting the green light from the International Red Cross Federation to launch a special appeal to help the people of Haiti who are suffering from the effects of a series of man-made and natural disasters. The president of the St. Lucia Red Cross, Hubert Pierre, notes that the timing may be awkward given the impact of COVID-19 on the lives of St. Lucians.
We at the St. Lucia Red Cross, we are just waiting for the final word from the Federation so that we can launch a local appeal to see what can be had to enable the people of Haiti to suffer less than they are suffering right now. It is difficult. It is troublesome with an earthquake. In 2010, I was there for some time. I worked with them and I know the problems that exist. And added to that, we have the COVID also. So all of this is making life extremely difficult for the people of Haiti. And the St. Lucia Red Cross, therefore, will appeal to the St. Lucia public to enable us to get something to Haiti.
Pierre says the people of Haiti have had to cope with one crisis after another.
The impact has interfered with the life of 800,000 persons. And as a result of this, there are problems with health, food security, safety, etc.
Each disaster has weakened the capacity of the people of Haiti to cope. Haiti's challenges are deep and wide, but the St. Lucia Red Cross believes that some assistance from a large number of people can go a long way in making life for our fellow CARICOM nationals less burdensome. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
Caribbean Community CARICOM Chair and Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, says the 15-member Caribbean community is hoping to build a greater bond with the African continent. ABS's Jessica Russell reports.
We're now moving speedily to establish an office in Nairobi because we want to make sure we have stronger relations with Africa, and the whole intention is to move to Nigeria and other areas in Africa to make sure that we have strong diplomatic representation.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown, who chairs the Caribbean community, says CARICOM is moving to establish a mission in Kenya. He made the announcement during a recent meeting with Nigeria's Aviation Minister, Haiti Sirika. The Prime Minister also proposes building trade ties.
We're hoping that you can help us to execute a bilateral agreement between Antigua, Barbuda and Nigeria, with the possibility of doing some oil trades.
Sirika says recent legislation makes it possible for greater collaboration in the oil industry.
The President signed the Petroleum Act, which is now becomes a law, and that opens up for investment and for also relationship with other countries.
Nigeria is Africa's most populous country and the continent's largest oil producer. Jessica Russell, ABS News.
In sports, a new multi-purpose sports complex was opened over the weekend. Sports Minister Olivia Grange was at the opening at the St. Margaret's Standpipe complex. Marlon Samuels reports.
The official dedication and opening of the St. Margaret Standpipe Multipurpose Center, more commonly called the turf, took place on the weekend. The poor conditions of the turf has been transformed into a top-quality, state-of-the-art sports complex.
The church and the community are unstinting in their gratitude to the donors. Ambassador Donald Tapia, the Musson Foundation, the USAID, Rick's Cafe, Starbucks, Sports Development Foundation, Toby Thomas, Super Value, Shoppers Fair, Mailpack, Progressive Grocers, Mark and Sherry Vandaline, Gassan Sharara, and Donald Roberts.
I'm happy to announce that the Musson Foundation will be continuing our support of the Standpipe community through $600,000 Jamaican in funding for basketball lessons and netball lessons for the youth in the community.
Through resources from the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, USAID has provided the sports equipment and some additional fixtures to outfit the sports complex. I'm pleased to announce that some playground equipment will also be arriving in the coming months. The United States government is committed to developing strong, safe, and secure communities. This community development initiative is a true example of the strong partnership between Jamaica and the United States as we work together in collaboration and true partnership to reach the goals outlined in the Government of Jamaica Vision 2030 plan.
Through the SDF, my ministry provide courts across Jamaica. We fund fields, we provide seating, we provide sporting equipment to the amount of about $150 million per year. And we support all the national sporting organizations. There are over 40, in excess of 40 sporting organizations. And we give them subvention monthly to the amount of about $200 million per year. And part of their mandate is to go into communities and to give support to community sports development programs. So I am really happy today that we are in a position to support programs in Standpipe, in the Standpipe community. So all that's left for me to do now is to close with an appeal to everyone, particularly the members of this community. From the older folks to young people above 12 years old. And I know all those youth out there, you're hearing me. Any of you have not yet been vaccinated, go out and get it done.
This is a repurposed space featuring a standard size basketball court, a netball court, and versatile hoops, refurbished bleachers and restrooms, and the space also includes new changing rooms, a refreshment stand, and a viewing gallery.
The multipurpose complex will level the playing field by getting the children and adults in the Standpipe community off the sidelines. It will provide opportunities and resources to allow them to reach their full potential.
1968, I was a kid of 6 years old when we first started playing on the dirt right here. Now we are partakers, we are stakeholders, we have ownership in this beautiful turf. And we are going to make you proud that we are going to put it to good use. We have a basketball coach who has already committed to me. He's ready. He's just waiting on me. And we are going to have back the Likkl Lions. We are going to achieve great things because Likkl Lions was our basketball team who was doing very well until we hit a roadblock. But now it's going to be started. Our kids are raring to go. And I'm happy because when our children and our people are happy in our community, then Jamaica, you are going to feel it. It's going to spread. And it only takes a spark to get a fire going.
For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
5 of the 8-member Jamaican team departed the island on Saturday for the 64th Caribbean Amateur Golf Championship, which will be played at the Country Club at Grand Reserve Rio Grande in Puerto Rico from August 24 to August 26. The 5 members are Justin Barrows, Mattia Issa, William Nibbs, Dr. Mark Newman, and Shamar Wilson. They'll be joined by Rocco Lopez, Owen Samuda, and Madeline Newkirk.
For the men's side, we have a very experienced team. We have one rookie, but he has performed quite well throughout the year. That's Shamar Wilson, and the rest are what we call veterans, young but veterans. So we expect, the expectations is high that they'll do well.
As you heard from Robert, we have a really nice team. Experience, we have a rookie or two, yes, but there's so much talent. We know that we've been anxious 2 years since our last tournament. We haven't had the opportunity, and now we're just looking forward to, as a team, to go out there and perform and bring back some heavy metal for Jamaica.
Well, it feels great to represent my country. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's a goal of mine to do it at this age. Most of the people on my team are a lot older than me. So being 14, I think that this is going to be a great learning experience, and I'm going to have a great time.
The team will conduct 2 practice rounds on the par 72 course prior to the start of the championship. They will be going after 3 trophies, namely the Team Country Trophy, the Arthur Zadie Trophy, the Howerman Cup for men, and the George Teal Trophy for women. A strong men's team, headed by National Amateur Golf Champion Justin Burrows, will lead the charge for the Howerman Cup, which Jamaica has never won. Jamaica's team placed 3rd at the last championship when it was last held in 2019. There was no competition in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching.